Hey guys, Corey back here with Iconic Speed and Design. Got my Pullmax up and running. It's done. Thank God. I've had made some other tooling, but I'm going to do a demonstration on thumbnail shrinking dies in the Pullmax. These are Stan Fulton's. Highly recommend the plastic ones. You're going to see in the video how fast it moves the metal. I have two pieces of aluminum that I've been kind of playing with. And I'll come up here and I'll show you guys. This thumbnail is from my power hammer. As you can see, it's real subtle, no marring. This is from these plastic ones, absolutely no marring. These particular dies move about a 30-second. They shrink about a 30-second at a time, but you could see this was bent to 90 and it has a double edge and it is curving it. I had to shrink more out here, but it's a thumbnail die. He does make metal ones, highly recommend them. I don't know him personally, but he's got something going on here. So I'm going to show you guys on the Pullmax, when you set them up, it's not rocket science. So on a power hammer, it's crushing. I mean, it's hitting. This, you want to keep a gap between here. I'm going to run this machine on my high setting, on the lowest setting up here on the tool height, which is like 50 thousandths hit. I mean, it's just barely moving. It will move faster. I'll probably go to the 125 thousandths hit to get it moving, and then I'll come in and I'll fine tune it. This is another piece that I was doing with my son, and I shrunk it here and I shrunk it here. This was started out flat. It's very similar to the piece I'm going to use now. They're shims that I made from my power hammer. It's flat, 063 or 063 thick, 3003, and I just shrunk it on each side. But you could see it's definitely shrinking on this direction, not only this way, but you could see it's gathering the material and go from there. So what I'm going to do. This machine's not as loud as the power hammer, but you don't really need hearing protection. So I'm gonna turn it on. I already have all this set because I was messing with it, and I'm gonna show you first on about the 125, 150 thousandths hit of how fast this thing can shrink. So I'll turn it on. My machine will shake and make some noise, and then once it gets running, it's pretty smooth. You will hear a rattling, but just bear with me. So as you can see, it definitely went in and it moved the metal. So I'm going to do a couple passes. I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other one. As you can see, it moved it really quick. You could see the curve there. Very little marring. You could see the material gathering up. So I'm going to put it in my 50 thousandths hit. And what that's going to do, it's going to remove some of this marks, and it'll fine tune the shrinking, but it'll shrink as well. But to get it going, I like to do that. And then once I get up close to where I need to be, so if this was a light line here, the deepest shrink and the second deepest shrink, I would probably use it on this hit. When I came out here to the edge, I'd probably use it on the finest hit, which I'm going to show you now. So there it is. That's pretty fast. Obviously, if your panel was bigger and you had your light lines laid out, you'd be probably going a little bit slower. But I mean, you could see how fast. And I just kept going into the same distance. I mean, I can get it to roll over to 90 if I was to shrink a little bit deeper in here and get it to fold over some more. But I'll show you these guys up close. I'm not going to take them out. But these are plastic. I don't know if it's like a Dale Wren. I don't know what they're made out of. But they work really well. He does have steel dies for a Pullmax or like a hot rod power hammer that's out there. I highly recommend these. The trick to these thumbnail shrinking dies, the round ones is what I've done my research on, are junk. And the reason why is when you have your thumb here and it's round, on the square edge out here is where it's closing the tuck. Well, when it's radiused on the sides, it won't close the tuck. There's nothing there. One of my employees, he has the hot rod power hammer and he has the round dies. And what I told him to do is bullnose the top of the thumb and mow it down. And if you sand it down where it's more of a subtle deal here, it's going to move the height of the thumb back. It won't shrink as aggressive, which it's going to be less marring. But on the round thumbnail dies, if you take your thumb and you do this to it, here is the peak back here. So it could actually close the tuck back on the round part where there's more meat. Where it's radiused, that's where it's supposed to close it. So if you move it back, it'll close it out here and it will work, but it just won't work as effective as these. So I'm gonna grab the camera and I'm gonna show you guys these kind of dies up close. It's just a plastic die. I built the tool holders and the thumb, and I have it set for the thickness, and obviously it's just like any other thumbnail dies, but you could see how fast it works. Very little marring, smooth. I mean, a DA will take the scratches out. This one here, I did both sides, and it's a lot, it's quite a bit of shrinking. And then here is the big one is the one for my power hammer, and then the little one is these dies here. So you can see the thumbs are pretty much at the same angle. This thumb is more at a straight angle, where my power hammer is more bullnose, and that's what I was saying to do. See how it falls off there? The height of it's back there. Where on those round dies, it goes all the way to the end, and then this is radius. These are square dies. And it closes the tuck back here. So just FYI, something to think about. If you are going to do round dies, you've got to mow the thumb down. But this machine's done. It's up and running. That's the full deal. These are drawers down here. Somebody asked me about that the other day. That's where I'm going to put more tooling. not so much of the stakes. I'm gonna cut some like polyurethane foam and cut them, but when I make the tooling for the universal dies, these will just slide in the foam and they won't sit there and rattle and be noisy. This is gonna be more of the ones that I fabricate, like this is my tipping post, stuff like that I have to use that'll have the stakes in them. So, and I've got more on this side, but that's the machine. It's up and running. I got thumbnail dies. I will get the steel dies. I probably will do a demonstration on those because I want to kind of keep one machine set up for shrinking, and then I can really start radial stretching on the hammer instead of swapping out dies and trying to get these set up, because those dies in that machine, they're set up perfect now, but if I was to take them out and put in radial stretch dies and then go back to my shrink dies, it takes a good 30-45 minutes to get those dies aligned, where these are fixed. So I'm gonna put some scribe marks right here like I did on my power hammer, so that's gonna indicate, and then I'll stamp like an S for shrinking, like an SP for the shrinking dies, and aluminum, steel, so forth. But that was quick, and it's not as noisy as that. That's more violent, but I could do both. So I hope you guys like this video. If you did get any information from it, I'm glad. I've been doing this for a long time and trying to figure this out, and I think I'm kind of on the tail end of it. I've got the thumbnail dies figured out. It's moving metal in the correct way on the steel dies. This machine is what I wanted it for. I could do profiles, I could shrink on it, I could radial stretch on the hammer, I could make my own beads all in one. And if you guys like this, hit the subscribe button at the bottom. I'm gonna start posting more. I did sell my old planishing hammer, so I'm building like a 36-inch, 32-inch Chicago pneumatic style. That's in the back. I have some frame or some tubing and some frame that I'm working on, but that'll be an ongoing deal. I might do a series on it if you guys want to see that and where to buy a good hammer. But this is going to be fully controlled by a foot pedal that does the air, and it gives me the height to slip in a piece of material, where my old one I had to have a screw jack and then I had to tighten it. But if you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe. You can go to my other social media channels, see what I'm doing in the shop and what we're building. But these tools are how I make money. I don't sell this. I don't sell plans for this. This is a lot more complex than my bead roller, but I do sell plans for the bead roller. If you're interested in that, just hit me up. I accept PayPal, but a lot of this stuff, I mean, to be honest with you, I can't really afford the stuff that's out there for sale, let alone where I'm located. I've got to travel. It's just easier for me to build it. It's a small footprint, but it does the same thing as those big machines. So stay tuned. I hope you guys like this video, and I will catch you guys on the next one.